I double dog dare you. Y'all know that phrase, right? That's a phrase that you've probably said as a kid. Like someone's you're something's happening and you're like, I double dog dare you to do something about it. And when we talk about the WNBA and we talk about the various teams, there are teams in different tiers. And the Las Vegas Aces definitely are at the top tier of the WNBA when it comes to just about everything. When it comes to the amenities, when it comes to the facilities, when it comes to just the talent level on the court, Vegas is up, right? Vegas is up. That is the energy that the Las Vegas Aces have been bringing for the last several years. And they're definitely not subtle about it. So last year, the WNBA did launch an investigation after every player on the Las Vegas Aces roster, even the bench warmers, got dollars from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, which is basically the marketing/PR arm for Vegas, right? So fast forward, that was last year. All the players on the team got $100,000 as a sponsorship. Everybody for just repping Vegas. And the WNBA was like, whoa, what? Investigate. Let's have an investigation about this. They launched an investigation. Fast forward, nothing's changed except the fact that the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority is doing it again. So they're basically like, hey, last year y'all said y'all doing an investigation. Let's investigate and blah 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 blah. You didn't say anything about what we're doing. Yeah, it's $100,000. Million was on my lips. Maybe in the future. But anyway, it was sort of like it feels like one of those things where it was like, hey, we did this last year. You made a kind of a stink about it. Didn't wanna resolve it, and now you're like, hey, we're gonna do it again. We are going to do this again. I double dog dare you to stop us. I double dog dare you. Okay, so we can do it again. Same deal. Same $100,000. I keep wanting to say million. $100,000. Same team. Same organization paying them. And still, no real word from the WNBA. So what exactly is going on here? Is this a genius marketing move by Las Vegas? Is this a salary cap workaround? Or is it both? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Again, guys, thank y'all so much for hopping on. If y'all could make sure to hit that like button, that really does help the channel out a whole lot. Thank you very much in advance. Okay, so let's get to it. So, 100K for every Aces player. What's the catch? Well, if you ask them, not really a catch. All right, so the headline is each player on the Las Vegas Aces team, all 13 of them. Yes, I said 13 players, because this includes Megan Gustafson and Cheyenne Parker-Tyus, who, Megan Gustafson is out with injury. Cheyenne Parker-Tyus is pregnant. So technically at this moment, the Las Vegas Aces have 13 players. Once Cheyenne Parker-Tyus comes back, they'll waive a player and then they'll be at 12, but you get what I'm saying. But all 13 are getting this deal. They're getting paid $100,000 this season by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Again, the marketing arm for Las Vegas tourism. Okay? Now, the idea behind this is that, hey, these are not basketball payments. These are sponsorships, guys. Sponsorships. The Las Vegas Convention, and I'm just gonna call them the LVCVA because it's too long to keep saying their full name. Anyway, the LVCVA wants to market Las Vegas. Of course, that's their job, right? They want people to think of Las Vegas as a fun, as a vibrant, as a great place to be. And having WNBA players rep your team, it's a cool part of the plan. It's a very, very cool part of the plan, which includes players going to concerts, players going to like various events that are happening in Las Vegas, to just show up and be like, yes, isn't Vegas awesome? We'll see some ads on there, or probably on some of their social medias, to just be like, oh, Vegas is great and blah 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 blah. Vegas is awesome. Vegas, 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 Vegas. You get the idea, right? You kind of get the idea. Now, that's basically what they have to do, which is not that much. They do there are individual contracts for every single player because again, this is not agreed upon with the team itself. This is a player by player agreement. All right, hopefully that makes sense. And through that agreement, players have to rep the city, so they got to do some stuff. Is it a lot? Probably not a ton, but they do have to do some stuff to just showcase how great Vegas is. So that's where we at. That's where we are at right now. Dwayne says, so do the Vegas Knights get the same payments? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Okay. I don't. Vegas Knights, guys, is the hockey team in Vegas. I don't really follow the Vegas Knights. You know, if I'm watching hockey, I'm watching the Blackhawks, and I don't really pay that much attention to the news. So I'm not sure if the Vegas Knights get the same payment, a similar payment, but yeah, the Aces do. Art Dog, it says it sounds like cheating, and Tisha says, how is this different from any other deal? Instead of one player, it's 13. I see no problems, and it should make other cities step up. Here is the deal. Tisha's right. It is an endorsement deal. I mean, or normal sponsorship deal. It's not a big deal. However, because every single player is getting it, because of the way it was rolled out in terms of they were in the I believe they were in their locker rooms last year when they found out that they were getting this endorsement deal, and there was a fear of coordination by the Las Vegas Aces. I think that's the issue. Is this a coordinated thing? Are the Aces involved? Were they involved in making this happen? Was Mark Davis and all of his connections and like how plugged in this guy is, did he somehow have something to do with this? And is this a way for the Aces to circumvent the salary cap? That's the concern. Yes, you know, if maybe some of the players on the Aces got this deal, I don't think the WNBA would have initially even made that investigation public, right? But because everybody is getting it, there's a question mark of, well, were the Aces involved? Was Mark Davis involved? And is this something that is nefarious of sorts? That was the thought, I would say. And because of that, the WNBA, they were like, you know what? We are going to investigate. So let's rewind to around this time, or maybe in May of 2024. The Las Vegas, the LVCVA, dropped their first batch of deals. And within a day or so, the WNBA said that they were launching an investigation last year. They said they were launching an investigation when that first $100,000 deal per player happened. Okay. And this was, you know, looking like it was possibly an attempt to get some under the table salary cap stuff for players. And so the WNBA was like, you know what? Let's investigate. And then crickets, which is why when I've talked about investigations before, hey, teams and leagues and whatnot launch investigations all the time. We don't always hear a resolve to those investigations. And this is one of the ones that it came out there and it was like, oh, we're investigating, and then nothing. No public update, no penalties, no timeline. As of April of this year, Kathy, you know, she still says she had nothing new to share about the investigation. And the LCVA president, Steve Hill, said that he hadn't heard from the league, right? And so they're not waiting around because they're like, hey, you know what? We didn't do anything wrong. We don't feel like we did anything wrong. Let's move forward, right? So shout out to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, specifically Callie Finn. She broke the story talking about this thing. She broke the story last year, I believe, initially letting us know about the 100K, and then this year she wrote about it as well. So shout out to her. She did an interview, I guess, with Steve Hill, the LVCVA president, and Steve said it went more smoothly this year than last year. Last year we had to work through contract language and work through expectations. Nobody had the experience. Nobody had experienced the process. So there were understandably questions and maybe a little bit of concern. But this year, everybody has seen what we asked and allowed the players to do. All right, so he's like, hey, we did this last year, but this year it does feel a bit easier. And when it comes to the WNBA, he said, hey, this was not a coordination with the Aces. And there was not an attempt to support the salary cap. It's just a sponsorship that helps draw attention to the pay levels of players. So getting those ambassadors out there and making them a part of our marketing effort has been great. So he's like, hey, we did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong is happening right now. Nothing wrong happened last year. Nothing wrong is happening this year. Okay? So let's continue on. Their job is just to keep repping Vegas. So let's be clear. This is not just a few individual players getting an individual deal. This is not like, like Asia and how she has a shoe deal with Nike, right? This is not that. This is every single player on this team signing the same 6-figure deal 2 years in a row with no involvement from the franchise, if you believe what is being publicly stated. And call me naive, but I actually do believe that they're not coordinating with the Las Vegas Aces. And if you look at the LVCVA, they are swearing that, hey, this is all about promoting women's sports and drawing attention to the Aces and what's happening here, and they're doing a good job of it, because the media attention that this $100K payment got last year and what it's gotten this year has been absolutely huge. Okay, now the WNBA's Supermax contract, I believe this year is around $249,000. The minimum that a player can get paid for the full season this season is $64K. So the maximum, $249,000. The minimum, $64,000. So imagine this. Imagine you're a player like a Cheyenne Parker-Tyus who did sign on a lower deal with the Aces, and you get this extra $100,000 for marketing the Las Vegas area. That's kind of cool. Think about even if there's no coordination, which I don't believe there is coordination, but let's just say it's not coordination, and WNBA players are like, you know what? I think this is going to be a pretty regular thing. I think the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, I think they're going to consistently do this deal with the Las Vegas Aces. So imagine this. Imagine the Aces are going to pay you. Now, speculation now. Let's say you want to sign a 1-year deal next year with the Las Vegas Aces, and you're gonna sign, and the Aces are like, actually, we think you're only worth, let's say, $90,000. They're like, hey, we want to sign you to a 1-year deal. We'll pay you $90,000. And then let's say you have another team. Let's say you have another team that is let's say you have the Washington Mystics. And the Washington Mystics are like, you know what? We want you to be on our team. We want to pay you $120,000. All right. So let's say the Aces are paying you 90. Washington is going to pay you 120. This is the second year that the convention, visitors, whatever, that the marketing arm for Vegas is doing this with the Aces. Second year in a row. If you're going to assume they're going to do it next year, maybe you sign with the Las Vegas Aces because you're like, yeah, the team is going to get me 90, but I'm going to get 100 possibly from the Las Vegas marketing arm. So you probably would do the deal with the Aces because of that potential. So this is not. So that's a way that this could possibly be done. That's not the Aces circumventing, but it's players being smart and being like, actually, you know what? I think I may want to hop on to this team because I'm going to get an extra bit of money, not from the team, but from the city. Something to think about. Brett says we can only pay you 90, but wait, there's more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And to be honest with you, like I fault nobody. I like this is not a Quita is ragging on the Aces or the but no, I think this is awesome. I think this is great for the players. I don't think the Aces are actually involved. Um, I think this is great, but I also think this is a slightly unfair advantage for the Aces. It just is. You got a whole pot of money that is just out there, to help incentivize players. All right, but I understand people who are like, wait, this seems fishy because the entire roster is treated to the same deal, and the team benefits from roster stability, from star player retention, from role player, from getting certain role players to join their team, and it does raise questions about intent, coordination, and overall fairness in the WNBA. So this kind of leads us, this kind of leads us back to where we started at the beginning of the stream, and we're gonna talk about the Aces basically saying, hey, a double dog dare you. Let's call it what it is. The Las Vegas Aces and in reality the Las Vegas Convention. What's the full name of this thing again? I keep forgetting. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. They're like, hey, we're double dog daring the WNBA to do something. We don't feel like we're doing anything wrong. This is not a coordinated thing, and let's call it what it is. The WNBA said they launched an investigation, but people haven't been talked to when it comes to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Like no one's talked to them about this. They haven't been in talks with the WNBA about this investigation. And after a full season of waiting, they're like, hey, well, we gonna keep doing what we're doing, right? We are going to keep doing what we're doing. And the bottom line is, here's the deal: if the league wants to enforce its salary structure, do it. And maybe in the new CBA, carve out something that specifically is talking about this, right? Because right now, Vegas, the city of Vegas, is like, hey, we're gonna do what we need to do because we need the Aces to be top notch, and we need the Aces to promote Vegas, and so us giving the money, is going to help with that. Okay, so unless the league actually does something about it, don't be surprised if other teams and other sponsors in other cities start saying, you know what, let's make our 100K brand deals with these teams. Okay, because yeah, Cheryl, I think you're spot on. What stops other cities, convention and visitor bureaus from doing something similar? Though they may not have as much money as Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas is a abnormality because Vegas is where you go to lose all your money. And so, of course, the Las Vegas Visitors and Convention Authority, they have a lot of money because a lot of people have gone there and lost their money. Which is why I tell y'all should not gamble because, that's the whole purpose of Vegas. That's how Vegas made all their money, is from people gambling, losing all their money, and going back home on their flights broke, basically. Here's the deal: nothing's stopping other visitor authorities from doing that. Of course, I don't expect other cities to have as much money to just sort of give away as Vegas does. However, you never know. You never quite know what is going to happen. Okay. Yeah, man. It's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. Vegas kind of does have an endless cash flow. Yeah. Anyway. I am curious to hear, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Do you all think that the WNBA, do you have any thoughts about when the WNBA will actually finish their initial investigation? They still have not said that they've finished the investigation. They said they launched an investigation last year. No updates on it. And are they going to do an investigation part 2? Is it going to be a second investigation? Because the same thing that they launched an investigation for last year is happening again. Okay, it's a question mark. Also, will other teams follow suit, or is this just a Las Vegas Aces thing? I think this is pretty interesting as well. Tracy says Vegas spent 1.3 million and is getting so much press. It is worth it and a great movie. And yeah, guys, in that article, again, written by Callie Finn with the Las Vegas Review Journal. I think that's the name of the publication. The president of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, I believe they spoke directly around that, and they said like the buzz that they got last year from making the announcement to the players, like that was like well worth the investment, right? So like the buzz that they've gotten and the attention that they've gotten has been very, very, very helpful, very helpful. And so yeah, how did this turn into a conversation in the chat about the sky? This ain't got nothing to do with the sky. Okay, this ain't got nothing to do with the sky. Okay. Thank you so much for Ghost for the super chat. Says lie down with dogs, get up with fleas. I don't know what that means. Is that like a dig on I know what the phrase means. I understand what the phrase means, but are you saying that that like being connected to Las Vegas as a whole is a shady thing, or like I'm trying to understand what you mean in relation to this topic. But again, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Kay says, the chat don't stay on topic. See, y'all be going on rabbit holes, which is like actually really fun to watch. Like after the stream is over, I go back and I'm like looking at some of the stuff, and I'm just like, wow. I agree with you there, Ghost. Gambling, yeah, the gambling industry is very shady. It is. Which is why I advise y'all not to gamble. Okay. Symbol is hopping back on the topic we just previously talked about. Says, Quita, I'm surprised you support the shady stuff being pulled by the Aces. The real issue with parity, the rich teams will acquire better players. When the Fever does this, you will have a cow. I won't. Here's the deal. I don't know how much of my content you've been watching. If you've been watching for a while, you know that if the Indiana Fever did this exact same thing, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Again, what other people? Sure. There are some people who are like, hey, what's good for this one team, I wouldn't support if it happened with another team or whatever. That's not me. I am in support of WNBA players getting money. Okay? I'm in support of them getting money. I don't believe that this was a coordinated thing between the Aces and the Convention and Visitors Authority. I don't. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Well, if I'm wrong about it and the WNBA finishes their investigation and they find out that something was nefarious, absolutely. I will talk about it and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was wrong on that. But I don't have a problem with teams getting their money. I wouldn't have a cow if the same exact thing happened to the Indiana Fever. I wouldn't. So, yeah. So somebody, the Visitors Bureau of Indianapolis, make a deal with the Indiana Fever. Make a deal with every player. Make a deal with every single player on the Indiana Fever. Give them $100,000. You will hear me on this channel being like, that is awesome. Let's go Indianapolis. Let's do it. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people are like, oh no, you wouldn't think the same way. I would. In almost basically every single situation. Like I am very much equal footing. What I say about one team, I would say the same thing if it was another team. What I say about one person, I would say the same thing if it was another person. Okay. Peg says the W should create a deal with the Chamber of Commerce and every team in all the team city. I think that would be great. I think that would absolutely be great, and I'll be in full support of that. Full support. But yeah, Dominique is right. Every city could not afford that money. Yeah,